for today. All I'm using today is a set of dumbbells and my jump rope, but you do not need any exercise equipment whatsoever to follow along with this workout because I will be providing equipment-free substitutions. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to see the exercises briefly demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So we are starting with jump rope. I have Rebecca here with me today. Rebecca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. And if you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code Rebecca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. We are starting and ending the workout with jump rope. However, if you do not have a jump rope, or if you're pressed for time today, or you just don't want to do the additional cardio, you can eliminate the jump rope sections and just do part 2 of the workout. That'll be a nice short little standalone workout all on its own. So that's one option. But if you would like to include the cardio sections, they're going to be about 5 minutes a piece, give or take. So I'm going to be doing 5 sets of 100 with my jump rope. And when I say a set of 100, I'm talking about 100 revolutions of the rope. So I always just kind of jog in place like this while I'm jumping rope. But if you are more comfortable jumping with your feet together, great, jump with your feet together. If you're really good at jump rope and you want to do something more challenging, you can do a boxer shuffle, high knees, jump rope jacks, it doesn't matter. Any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. The only important thing is that we're counting revolutions of the jump rope. So we're counting 100 revolutions of the rope. That's one set of 100. We're doing that 5 times. That's part 1 and that's part 3 of the workout. So each jump rope section, like I said, is going to take me about 5 minutes, somewhere in that neighborhood. So if you don't have a jump rope, but you do want to include the cardio sections, it can be about 5 minutes of any type of moderate paced cardio exercise you want. So if you have access to something like an elliptical or a treadmill or an exercise bike or something like that, Stairmaster, you can hop on one of those for 5 minutes while I'm jumping rope, that works. You could do up and down the steps if you have steps in your home or in your apartment complex, or if you want to take this workout to a local beach or park or hiking trail where there's steps. If you have access to the field at your local high school, you could do up and down the bleachers for 5 minutes, or you could jog around the track for 5 minutes. Or you could jog around your neighborhood for 5 minutes, so maybe once or twice around the block. The cardio sections don't have to be exactly 5 minutes. Mine are not going to be exactly 5 minutes, but something in that neighborhood. You also could just pantomime jumping rope. That's absolutely fine. So you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That works. Or you can pantomime jumping rope the way I do, which is really just kind of jogging in place. So in that case, you don't necessarily have to pantomime swinging a rope. You can just jog in place and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to make it a little more challenging, again, you could do high knees or jump rope jacks. So you can either do that for about 5 minutes, or you can do 5 sets of 100. Pick a cardio exercise that you're capable of doing 5 sets of 100 of and just do that. All right, but plus or minus about 5 minutes of moderate paced cardio, any way you want to get it done will work for part 1 and part 3 of the workout. The middle part of the workout is where I'm going to be using my dumbbells. We're doing strength training for reference, and for reference only, these are 10-pound dumbbells. That is a good weight for me. That's going to challenge me today. However, you may need to use something lighter than that. You may need to use something heavier than that. That depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It also just depends on what you have available to you and how hard you are looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. If you do not have dumbbells, household items can work. So maybe grab a couple of shampoo bottles or water bottles filled with some sort of weight. You could fill them with water, that's probably easiest, but you might be able to make them a little bit heavier if you fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried beans or lentils, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, or again, if you're taking your workout to the beach, let's say, you could fill them with sand maybe or pebbles. So get creative and use what you've got. I will say though that my dumbbells are hex dumbbells, which means that they are flat on the bottom because they're shaped like hexagons. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you are using household items like shampoo bottles or water bottles, then you're going to need to make one small modification, but I'll show that to you. But if you do not have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, that's fine. The added weight is optional. I will be providing equipment-free substitutions for the strength training portion of the workout as well. So first of all, let's just go over the 2 exercises that we are doing, and then I will explain the format. So I'm starting with a bent over row plus an upright row. We're doing lots of rows today. Doing bent over rows, upright rows, and plank rows. So when I say a row, I just mean that you are bending your elbow and lifting the weight up towards your shoulder on the same side. And we're going to be doing 3 different variations of that today. So the first is a bent over row. So first we need to bend over. And the first thing you want to do before you think about bending over is tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. You want your shoulders back and down. That is also going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high. I also want you to make sure that your abs are super strong and tight and engaged the entire time. And then I want you to think about hinging at the hips. So if you picture trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty so that your back stays flat and all of your weight stays in your heels, that's what we're going for. Remember, you're also keeping your chest lifted nice and high. So we want to avoid a rounded back like this. So tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets, chest stays lifted nice and high. So at the same time that you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, I want you to also think about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. The point is that you want to elongate your spine so that your back stays flat. You avoid a rounded back like this. Your back stays flat and all of your weight stays in your heels. Do you see how I can actually pick up my toes? That's what we're going for. You want to try to get your torso more or less parallel to the ground, but please do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. Work to your own level. And the other really important part here is that you want to make sure you're not locking out your knees like this. You are not actively trying to straighten your legs. You actually want a soft bend to your knees. So shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are tight, pushing that booty back, trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. Back stays flat, weight stays in the heels, soft bend to the knees as you hinge at the hips until your torso is more or less parallel to the ground. All right, so that's the bent over part of our bent over rows, and from here all we have to do is row our weights, which I already explained is just bending your elbows and lifting the weight up towards your shoulders. So for this first exercise, I'm going to have my palms facing the tops of my thighs. The backs of my hands are facing this wall in front of me. That's the grip I'm going to have on my dumbbells the entire time. So from here, I'm just going to bend my elbows and roll the weights up towards my shoulders, and then I'm going to control the movement as I return to this position. So I'm not just letting the weights drop down, I'm controlling the movement, using my back muscles to lower the weights down. Now I'm going to hinge at the hips to stand, so I'm going to press my heels into the ground, hinge at the hips, and then as I'm standing, I'm going to roll the weights again. I'm doing an upright row. So again, just bending my elbows and lifting the weights up towards my shoulders, controlling the movement on the way down. All right, and that's it. That's the exercise. So bent over row, hinge at the hips to stand, upright row. I'll show you from the front so you can see the upright row a little better. So tucking the shoulder blades into the back pockets, shoulders are back and down, soft bend to the knees, hinging at the hips, flat back, weight in the heels, row the weights, control the movement on the way down. Now press the heels into the ground, hinge at the hips to stand, and again, row the weights up towards the shoulders, so bend the elbows, row the weights up towards the shoulders, control the movement on the way down. Hinge at the hips, bend over row, hinge at the hips to stand, upright row. All right, and that's it. That's our first exercise. The second exercise is going to be, before I move on to the second exercise, I'll give you your equipment-free substitution. Any hip hinge. So you can do any kind of like deadlift. You can do a deadlift without any added weight. You can do one leg deadlift if you want to increase the difficulty. There's nothing to row if you're not holding on to any weight, so you just eliminate the bent over row, you eliminate the upright row, but you can still do a hip hinge. So probably a good morning is going to be the easiest thing to do. You can have your hands clasped behind your head. I usually just have my fingertips kind of touching the backs of my ears. You can have your arms crossed in front of you, it doesn't matter. But it's just a hip hinge. So again, shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, Abs are tight, soft bend to the knees, push the booty back, back stays flat, weight stays in the heels as you hinge at the hips, and then press your heels into the ground to stand. Hinge at the hips to stand. Now, since you are removing the upper body component, if you want to add something to that, you can add a squat or a kick or a lunge or something like that. So you could do like a good morning plus an air squat. I won't be doing a squat, but just to make it a little bit more challenging, a little more dynamic. So since you're taking away an upper body component, maybe you could add a lower body component. That's up to you, but if you have nothing that's going to work for weight, you just don't want to add weight to the workout, there is your body weight alternative, your equipment-free option. So any hip hinge exercise you want to do is fine. And if you want to add something else to it, great. Okay, so now our second and final exercise is push-ups. So any push-up variation you want to do with or without weight is fine. So just remember that you want to keep your body in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. If you do knee push-ups, your straight line will be from your knees to your shoulders, but the point is that you want to keep your head in line with your spine, you want your shoulders away from your ears, and you want a flat back. So if you imagine that you are standing with your back up against the wall and just gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, that's where you want your head to be, and that's where you want your head to stay. So make sure you're not allowing your head to bob up and down. Nothing should be moving. You should think of your body literally like it is a plank of wood, and you are lowering this plank of wood down to the ground and then pressing it back up. But from here to here, it doesn't move, okay? So I'm going to be holding onto my dumbbells while I do my push-ups. We're doing Renegade row push-ups. So it's going to be a push-up while holding onto the dumbbells and then 2 plank rows. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, I'm going to ask that you modify this exercise so that you are doing your push-ups with your hands flat on the floor or the ground, and then picking up one weight at a time and rowing the weight while keeping the other hand flat on the floor or the ground. Okay, the point is that if you have rounded dumbbells, or if you're using household items like water bottles or shampoo bottles, they're liable to roll around on you when you are holding onto them in a plank position with all of your weight on them, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. So I would rather that you modify the exercise so that you always have at least one hand flat on the floor or the ground for stability. I know there are plenty of people who do push-ups on rounded dumbbells, so it's your workout. You have to decide for yourself what level of risk you're comfortable taking, but for the record, if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you're using household items for weight, I would prefer that you modify this exercise by doing your push-up with your hands flat on the floor or the ground. So you would place your hands in between your dumbbells or whatever you're using for weight. Do your push-up from this position. And then leaving one hand flat on the floor or the ground, pick up the other weight, row it up towards your shoulder, place it down with control, let go, and then place both hands flat on the floor or the ground, and then repeat that on the other side. So now pick up the opposite weight and row it up towards your shoulder while your other hand remains flat on the floor or the ground. Control the movement on the way down. Place the weight down, let go. Place both hands flat on the floor or the ground in between your dumbbells, and then you're right into your next rep. Okay, but that's the exercise. It's just a push-up plus 2 plank rows. 1 plank row on each side. So again, you're just lifting the weight, bending your elbow, lifting the weight up towards your shoulder on the same side while you're in a plank position. All right, so head in line with the spine. So you're not allowing your head to drop down like this. You do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and jutting your chin out. Just want your head perfectly in line with your spine. Shoulders away from the ears, so make sure that you're not allowing yourself to kind of sink down into your shoulders like this. Press the dumbbells away from you, and then make sure that your back stays flat. So you don't want to allow your hips or your belly to kind of droop down towards the mat like this. That's causing an arch in my back. So what you want to do is tighten up your ab muscles, use your ab muscles to lift your hips up nice and high, and keep them lifted nice and high. So again, the point is that you want your body in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders, or if you're doing knee push-ups, your straight line is from your knees to your shoulders. But once you have found that perfectly straight line, nothing moves. So you're just bending your elbows, lowering your chest as close as you can to the floor or the ground without breaking that straight line and then pressing yourself back up, okay? So if you are unable to get your chest down all the way to the ground without breaking that straight line, just shorten up your range of motion, but do not compensate by lowering your hips or your belly to the ground. Do not compensate by lowering your forehead to the ground, okay? Make sure your body stays in one perfectly straight line the entire time. And if you are not adding weight, then just do any push-up variation you want. And you can eliminate the plank rows since there's nothing to row. It doesn't make any sense to do that movement if you're not lifting anything, but you can do shoulder taps instead, or anything, any kind of plank variation where you are balancing on one hand. So for example, if you're not adding weights, you could do your push-up and then do 2 shoulder taps, or lift one arm at a time. Or you could do Santana push-ups. You do your push-up and then do 1 side plank on either side. All right, so any push-up variation will work, and I recommend doing something like that, either shoulder tap or Santana plank or something like that, if you want to keep it similar to what I'm doing, where after the push-up, you are doing a plank exercise that requires you to balance on one hand at a time. Make sense? All right, it makes sense. But that's it. That's all we're doing today. So now here's the format. I really loved the workout that we did on Monday. And I loved the format, but that workout was a little on the longer side. So if you saw the video that I shared on Monday, and if you watched the whole thing, you may recall that as we were almost finished with the workout, I mentioned that I really liked the format and I thought it would lend itself to a shorter workout by just cutting all of the reps in half. So that's what we're doing today. It's the same format as Monday's workout, but everything is cut in half. So here's the way it's going to work. We are starting part 1 with our plus or minus about 5 minutes of moderate paced cardio. So for me, that's 5 sets of 100 with the jump rope. Then we're moving on to part 2, which is our strength training section. And we're just going back and forth between those 2 exercises that I just showed you for 5 rounds. And it's going to be 2 simultaneous ladder workouts. So for our first exercise, which is our bent over row plus upright row, we are going to be descending our ladder. And for our push-ups, we're going to be ascending the ladder. So for round 1, we are going to be doing 25 reps of our bent over row plus upright row and just 5 push-ups. Then with each subsequent round, we're going to deduct 5 reps of the first exercise and add 5 reps of the second exercise. So with round 2, I will deduct 5 reps, which means I'll do 20 reps of my bent over row, upright row combo. And then I'll add 5 reps to the other exercise. So instead of 5 reps of push-ups, I'll be doing 10 push-ups. All right, so then round 3, I'll do 15 bent over row, upright row, and 15 push-ups. So we are descending the ladder for our bent over row, upright row, ascending the ladder for our push-ups. So with round 4, 10 bent over row plus upright row, 20 push-ups, and then with our 5th and final round, just 5 reps of our bent over row plus upright row, 25 push-ups, and that's it, that's part 2. Then we'll finish with another cardio section, same thing we did for part 1, plus or minus about 5 minutes or so of moderate paced cardio, any way you want to get it done. So for me, again, that will be another 5 sets of 100 with the jump rope. So hopefully that'll make sense. Please remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format, if you have any questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, if you need help with beginner modifications, I'm always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. It's very important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure that you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And hopefully you guys know that it is also equally important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. I also want to remind you, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, to make sure that you're going at your own pace and minding your form. If you are faster than I am, wonderful. Be faster than I am. Just make sure that you are not losing anything off of your form to get there. If you are slower than I am, also wonderful, because as long as you got dressed and you got out here and you are doing the reps, if you are putting in the work, that's all that matters. So don't worry about how slow you're going. Please do not race to stay ahead of me. Please do not race to keep up with me. If you're racing to stay ahead of me so you can beat my score, or you're racing to keep up with me and your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down. If you fall behind, either because you're just working at a slower pace than I am, or because you're needing longer rest breaks than what I'm taking, or you're needing rest breaks where I'm not taking them, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I want you to challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. I only want you to resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. It's very important that you are not sacrificing your form for speed. And also, please just make sure you're working to your own level. So that means, of course, going at your own pace. It also means choosing dumbbells or household items that are an appropriate weight for you. So make sure that you choose something that you're able to maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it and injure yourself or break something and make a mess. Make sure it's not too heavy for you, and make sure that you are prepared to drop the added weight if necessary. If doing the weighted versions of the exercises becomes too taxing, ditch the added weight and switch to the body weight versions of the exercises I showed you. It means making modifications to the exercises, so putting your knees down for the push-ups or shortening up your range of motion if necessary. All right, so please just be smart, be safe, listen to your body, use your common sense, make the decision that is best for you, and just do your best. Please remember that your best is always good enough. So let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you are ready to go ahead and begin the workout, gather whatever equipment you need. So for me, that's just a set of dumbbells and my jump rope. If you have a jump rope, great, grab it. We're using it today. If not, remember you can substitute with any other kind of cardio exercise you want. If you do not have dumbbells, household items can work, water bottles, shampoo bottles, for example. And again, if you have nothing that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, you have your equipment-free modifications, pause the video, go get dressed, and then meet me right back here. We're going to start with a quick little 5-minute warm-up, and then we'll get right into the workout. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder, and then place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure that you're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. Your arms should be completely relaxed. You're just allowing gravity to do all of the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck by just using the weight of your arm. So now we're going to switch sides. Allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed as well. They should be down, away from your ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you're going to begin by allowing your chin to fall first towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier as you allow your range of motion to increase, until finally your entire torso is just kind of spilling in front of you. Your arms should be nice and loose like a rag doll. Now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. So just rolling your shoulders either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter, just make sure that you're exploring your full range of motion. So make those circles as big as you possibly can. Next, we're going to do arm circles, but we'll start small with our arm circles. So extend your arms straight out to the side and start by making small circles either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you're going to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you're making your circles as big as you possibly can, exploring your full range of motion. Now step your feet out a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, bend your knees and sweep your arms in front of you As you straighten your legs, you're reaching up as high as you can, stretching up towards the ceiling. And each time you bend your knees, allow your range of motion to increase little by little, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. They should be wider than shoulder width apart. And we're going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. And then you can add the arms. So now with each lunge, you're just reaching your arm across your body, like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're going to march in place. So step the feet in and march. Starting with your knees low, but gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up, higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. And now we're going to jog in place. Same thing, knees are low to start, but gradually you want to start driving your knees up, higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Final jogging interval. So now we're doing booty kicks. With each step, you're bringing your heel behind you. Really try to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. If you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or a chair for support. If not, hands on the hips is fine. You're going to transfer your weight into one foot, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose. Just waking up the hip flexors. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So place this foot down, shift your weight again, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and then gradually as the interval progresses, you can start expanding your range of motion. Switching feet again. Extend one leg out in front of you and make a semicircle, bringing the leg around and behind. Each time you make that semicircle, you're lifting your leg higher and higher, and then you're going to drive your knee up in front of you and use your hand to guide it around for a hip circle. Other side. So extending the opposite leg out in front, making a semicircle, bringing that leg around and behind you, lifting the leg higher and higher each time, and now 2 hip circles. Drive the knee up in front of you, use your hand to guide it around, and we'll finish with a hamstring stretch. So feet are wide apart. You can use the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch to assist you if it makes it easier. But you want to try to keep your back as flat as possible in this stretch so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. And that's it. That's our little 5-minute warm-up. So let's go ahead and get started with part 1. This is plus or minus about 5 minutes or so of some type of moderate paced cardio exercise. So if you're jumping rope with me, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. I'm going to be doing 5 sets of 100 with my jump rope. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So you're counting 100 revolutions of the jump rope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. So that's my first set of 100. We're going to do 4 more. Just keep your rest breaks in between the sets as short as you can. As soon as you're ready, here we go. Set number 2. over your jump rope. You do not have to go back and start the whole set over. Just take a deep breath. Get right back into it as quickly as you can. Pick up your count where you left off. So I'm gonna pick up my count at like 30. So that's 40, 50. So that's 100. So that's my third set. Two more. Final round. So that's part one. So it took me just a little under 5 minutes. So, see, I didn't lie. So now we start part two. This is our two ladder workouts working simultaneously. So we're doing bent over row, upright row, and then a renegade row push-ups. 5 rounds, starting with 25 reps of our bent over row, upright row, and just 5 push-ups. And then with each subsequent round, we'll be deducting 5 reps of our bent over row, upright row, and adding 5 reps of push-ups. If you're not adding weight, you just do good mornings. Instead of the bent over row, upright row, you can add a squat or some other lower body component if you want. And then for the second exercise, any kind of push-up variation you want to do is fine. All right. If you need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. I'm going to go ahead and get started on round 1. So my palms are facing the tops of my legs, the backs of my hands are facing the wall, shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are super tight. Make sure that you have a soft bend to your knees, you're hinging at the hips, so pushing your booty back, keep that chest lifted high, elongate the spine. You want to keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heels as you hinge at the hips, and now bent over row, press your heels into the ground, hinge at the hips to stand. And now our upright row. So again, bending your elbows, lifting the shoulders up, or lifting the weights up towards your shoulders, and then controlling the movement on the way down. That's 1 rep. So, bent over row, upright row. That's 2, 3. We're doing 25 of these, so do your best. That was 4, 5, keep going. That's 25. So now just 5 push-ups. So remember, if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you're using household items like water bottles or shampoo bottles, you're modifying this exercise so that you always have at least one hand flat on the floor of the ground. Going to do a push-up while holding onto the dumbbells, and now 2 plank rows, 1 on each side. That's 1 rep, 4 more. That's 5. That's it, that's round 1. So now with each subsequent round, we'll deduct 5 reps from the first exercise, add 5 reps to the second exercise, until we completed 5 rounds that way. So as soon as you're ready to begin round 2, we're back to our bent over row, upright row, 20 reps this time. 20. So next is 10 Renegade row push-ups, or whatever push-up variation you're doing. That's round 2. So for round 3, we're doing 15 reps of each exercise. No matter what round you're on, it's always going to add up to a total of 30 reps. So this is where we're kind of meeting in the middle. 15 reps of each exercise. I know I'm going to have to break up my push-ups, but I really want to see if I can do this first exercise, do all 15 reps unbroken. I'll do my best. If I'm not able to, I'll pause after my first 10 reps and take a little breather. I think I can do at least 10 unbroken. Break them up however you need to. If you need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. Let's go ahead and get started on round 3. So bent over row, upright row, 15 reps. Do your best. That's 15. So now 15 push-ups. I would love to be able to do all 15 unbroken, but there's no way that's happening. Because last round it was everything I had in me to do all 10 reps without stopping. So I don't even think I can do the first 10 reps without stopping. And I'll probably just start from here on out for these final 3 rounds of push-ups. I'll probably start just breaking these down into little mini sets of 5. It's okay, break them up if you need to. We're gonna get the reps done. It's all good. All right, 15 push-ups. My first 5. So I'm just gonna do 2 more little mini sets of 5 to get there. That's 10. I just have 5 left to go, but I need a minute or so to breathe, regain a little strength. If you're stronger than I am and you don't need these rest breaks, don't take them. Remember, go at your own pace. All right, picking up my count at 10. See if I've got enough to do my final 5 reps unbroken. That's 15. That's round 3. 2 more rounds to go. Back to our bent over row, upright row, deducting another 5 reps. So this round we just have to do 10 reps. As soon as you're ready, here we go. That's 10. So, just like with Monday's workout, as the first half of each round gets easier, the second half gets more challenging. So now, we have to do 20 push-ups. I know I can't do more than unbroken sets of 5 at this point, so it's my goal to just do 4 unbroken sets of 5 if I can. Just taking a couple more deep breaths here before I begin. I want my heart rate to come down just a little bit. So again, if you don't need the extra rest, go ahead and get started on your push-ups. I'm just gonna take like another, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, just another like 2 or 3 deep breaths. All right. If you need a longer rest break, pause the video. Come back when you're ready. Here we go, 20 push-ups. All right, that was my first 5. I feel like I could rest longer, but I don't want this to take forever. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do another 5 unbroken if I can. I know it's hard, just do your best. Halfway there. Just 2 more little mini baby sets of 5. Although even these little sets of 5 are getting to feel impossible at this point for me. If you're stronger than I am, hopefully you're like done with the whole workout by now. All right, I need to do 2 more little sets of 5. I'm gonna go ahead and start on my next set. If I get to the point that I can no longer do unbroken sets of 5, I'll just break it down and do 3 and 2. All right, I'm gonna get the reps done, that's all that matters. Okay, picking up my count at 10. That's 15. Just 5 more. I'm kind of drifting in this direction. I feel like I'm no longer in the shot even, but hopefully you know what I'm doing at this point. All right, let's push. Final 5 reps. So the good news is, with this 5th and final round, we just have to do 5 reps of our bent over row, upright row. The bad news is we have to do 25 Renegade row push-ups. So it's gonna be super tough. Let's go ahead and get these final 5 reps of our bent over row, upright row done. Just one little set of 5, we can do this. That's it, those are done. So now all we have left to complete part 2 of the workout is our final 25 push-ups. So for me, I'm going to continue to just try to break them up into sets of 5 for as long as I can. So I'll be doing 5 sets of 5. Again, just taking a good couple of minutes to breathe here. Because I know this is going to be super tough. All right, let's do like another 2 deep breaths. Maybe like another 15 seconds or so. You know the drill. If you need a longer rest break, pause the video, come back when you're ready. 25 Renegade row push-ups. That was only my first set of 5 and it was already a struggle. But I only have to do 4 little mini baby sets of 5, so just gonna take a minute to breathe here and then see if I can do another 5 unbroken. All right, picking up my count at 5. That's 10. So to do 3 more of those. It's getting so hard. All right. Picking up my count at 10. That's 15. We're getting there. Just 2 more little sets of 5. I'll get them done. Oh. All right, picking up my count at 15. Left to go. And then that is round 5. So that's it for part 2. Then all we have left to do is our final cardio section, which is also going to be tough. I feel like I'm not even gonna have the strength to swing my jump rope after this. All right, let's push. Final 5 reps, and then we're done with part 2. So picking up my count at 20. That's 23. It's 24. Last one. That's 25. All right. Weights down. We're done with the weights. of a struggle for me today than I care to admit. Much more difficult than I anticipated. I actually wanted to complete this entire workout in under 30 minutes and we're already almost at 40 minutes. So nowhere near that goal, but ultimately the goal is always just to get dressed and get out here and get it done. And we will check that box. So that's what matters. And then the next time I do this workout, I will have a very clear and realistic goal in mind that I want to beat. So it's all good. All we have left to do is our final cardio section. So plus or minus about 5 minutes of moderate paced cardio, any way you want to get that done. If you're jumping rope with me, again, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. We're just doing another 5 sets of 100 with the jump rope, and then that's it. That's the workout. So as soon as you're ready, here we go, part 3. Let's hope I can get my legs up and over this rope. One. That's 2. That's 3. it. That's our fifth and final set of jump rope. That's part 3. So that ended up taking me a total of 44 minutes and 11 seconds. So almost 15 minutes longer than what I wanted it to, but it's fine. I was working hard today. It was a great workout. It was tough. It challenged me. And most importantly, I got it done. That's what matters. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. But first, whenever I do a workout that incorporates jump rope, in addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. The bonus set of jump rope is completely optional, but the bonus burpee is mandatory. So if you don't want to do the bonus set of jump rope, that's fine. Just take another minute to rest, breathe a little bit, cheer me on, and then we'll do our bonus burpee together. If you would like to join me for this bonus set of jump rope, again, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. We're just counting 100 revolutions of the rope, just like we've been doing for the past almost 45 minutes, all right? So, as soon as you're ready, here we go. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 100. So that's our little bonus set of jump rope. And now we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. This is our final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick cool down together. You just want to keep moving for a few minutes while you allow your heart rate to come down and while you allow your breathing to normalize, so you can pace around back and forth. Shake out the legs a little bit. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch. So bringing one arm across your body, use your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Make sure your straight arm is completely relaxed, and make sure your shoulder is relaxed. If your shoulder is tense and hunched up by your ear, you're not going to be able to stretch it properly. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder, feel that nice stretch in your shoulder, and keep moving. I'm just kind of shifting my weight from foot to foot, but again, you can shake out the legs, you can pace, but you just want to keep moving while we're doing this little bit of light stretching. Shake it out. Let's get the other shoulder. So bringing the opposite arm across your body, making sure your straight arm is completely relaxed, making sure your shoulder is relaxed. Feel that nice stretch in your shoulder. Keep moving and keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. So as you inhale, I want you to really visualize your diaphragm being pulled down. Send that breath all the way down to your belly button. Allow your rib cage to expand, and imagine filling up your entire torso with air as you inhale. And then use your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. Shake it out. Let's do a tricep stretch. So bending one elbow, place your hand on your elbow, and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. You want to avoid having this free hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. So point those fingers straight down at the ground as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Make sure you keep moving. Shake out the legs, pace, shift your weight from foot to foot, and keep breathing. So one more deep breath here, sending that breath all the way down to your belly button. And exhale. Shake it out. Let's get the other arm. So bending your other elbow, place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, feeling that nice stretch in your triceps, making sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. Keep moving and keep focusing on your breathing. So one more deep breath, sending that breath all the way down to your belly button. Feel your diaphragm being pulled down. Allow your rib cage to expand. Fill up your entire torso with air. And then use your diaphragm to control the exhale. Shake it out. We're going to finish with a quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold on to the wall or the arm of your couch or a chair or your dining room table, kitchen counter for support. You're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you are not holding on to anything for support, you can go ahead and reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands and press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there. And as you do that, I want you to tilt your pelvis forward. So think about tucking your booty underneath you and trying to touch your spine with your belly button. As you do that, make sure you're continuing to really press your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're going to instantly feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively, but you should also feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. So shake it out. Let's get the other side, bending the other leg. Bring the foot behind you. Reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you are not holding on to anything for support, you will reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. Press your heel into your booty cheek. And as you do that, you're going to tilt your pelvis forward. Tuck the booty underneath you. Suck that belly button back towards your spine. And make sure that as you do that, you're continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek. Feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles. Feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. Let's take one more deep breath here. Sending that breath all the way down to your belly button as you inhale. And using your diaphragm to control the exhale and come out. One last time, shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit. And that's it. That's our little cool down. So if you find that you're still breathing heavily, your heart rate is still elevated, just take a few more minutes to pace around. Keep moving. You can do a little more light stretching. That's a great idea. Just remember that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure that you're taking at least a good 15 or 20 minutes every single day to stretch. If you have time to do it right now, immediately after the workout is always going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. But if you do not have time to stretch right now, that's fine. It doesn't matter what time of day you do your stretching, as long as you get it done at some point. It's really important to take that 15 or 20 minutes every day to stretch because it's going to go a long way towards helping you to alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workout. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and of course, it's going to improve your flexibility. Just make sure that you are stretching safely. So if you put off your stretching until later on in the day, your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you'll need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles, because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. But that's it. That is all I have for you today, so I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we were doing today, any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I'm always here to help. So please ask questions if you have them. And that is going to do it for today. But before I say goodbye, I just have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way until the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is, how can the same street intersect with itself? So if you are still watching this video, hello, thank you for watching all the way until the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says, how can the same street interact with itself? That is going to do it for today. I will see you all next time. Bye.